Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're doing well. A lot of people have talked about this proposed Saudi card with Wilder, Joshua, Dubois, and so on and so forth. And a question that's been asked is, how are they going to promote this? How are they going to stage this? Because all these fighters that are being mentioned, you're talking about, 3 or 4 different promotional companies coming together. And, what platform are they going to use? Are they going to use more than one platform? Is this going to be like, I remember back in the day when Mike Tyson fought Lennox Lewis? HBO and Showtime came together and they both showed the fight. So how are they going to do it? Well, before we go any further, and that's not a question I'll tell you in advance, I've got an answer to, a comprehensive answer to. I was kind of doing this video in the hope that you might make some suggestions that I would think, oh, I hadn't thought of that. But let's talk about the different fighters and their respective promoters. Because you've obviously got, we'll start with Anthony Joshua, who is a Matchroom fighter and has a lifetime deal with DAZN. Dimitri Bivol, who has also been mentioned as a possible, one of his fights is going to be shown also, a defence of his WBA light heavyweight title. He's a Matchroom fighter, Bivol. It's been proposed that he will face Richard Rivera, who is, I believe, signed to an organisation called Star Promotions, which is the head of which is Joe DeGuardia. Whereas Joshua supposedly will face Otto Wallin. Otto Wallin is signed to Dimitri Salita. That may be why Jarrell Miller has been proposed as an opponent for Daniel Dubois, because Miller is currently managed and promoted by Salita as well. So that would be Wallin and Salita from the Salita camp. DeGuardia's got Richard Rivera, Star Boxing. Dubois, of course, is with Queensbury. So the outlet there would be TNT Sports. Okay. Who else have we got? Wilder, PBC. It's this is getting kind of convoluted, if you know what I mean. And it does beg the question, getting back to the original question, how are they going to do this? They've got all these sweets in the bag. How are they going to distribute them? In all honesty, I don't know. If you come here looking for an answer, you're about to be disappointed. What I would imagine would happen is that they will have several different platforms. So, for example, DAZN, maybe ESPN Plus, perhaps, TNT. They will all pull together. It will obviously be pay-per-view, and they will all take a fair share of the pie. Having said that, there are going to be some parts of the world where this will not be pay-per-view, just as the Fury and Ngannou fight, it was free to air. Or you had to subscribe to whatever the platform was, but it wasn't the pay-per-view in some parts of the world. People have overlooked that when we talk about, the very poor figures, supposedly the reported poor figures for Fury versus Ngannou. So it remains to be seen. But isn't it rather telling and rather obvious, rather predictable, that when you swing a huge bag of money under the noses of all these different promoters, suddenly, out of the blue, yeah, we can do a deal. We'll come together. Oh, yeah, my fighter can do that, Whereas previously, when there isn't such a great bag of money, it's so-and-so's ducking me, so-and-so's this, you're that, my fighter's this, we offered them this deal, all this politicking crap that puts a huge black mark against boxing and, sometimes totally prevents matchups, or at the very least, can prevent matchups from happening until we get to the point of where, they're both past their sell-by date. I mean, Kell Brook and Amir Khan is an obvious example. By the way, I also forgot to mention Joseph Parker. Now, I thought he was with Sky and Boxer. He signed a long-term contract in 2022, and I almost forgot to mention Joseph Parker, because is he still with Boxer and Shalom? Because I thought there was something to do with him leaving the company, the contract being handed back. I don't know, to be honest with you. I really don't know. I think he's with Shalom, and because of course he went and fought Joyce, which I think was on a Queensberry card, and he got knocked out. So I don't know. I don't know. It's again, it's very, very convoluted. It's a situation where I'm sure they can sort something out. It's basically just we're all going to bake this big fat pie, and we're all going to take our slice, stuff our faces with it, and for pie read money, and then vomit on our own gluttony. And all the fighters hopefully will get paid, apart from that fat bastard Miller, who shouldn't even be there. So yeah, you can't. Even though, I mean, leaving aside the politics, the sports washing, the Saudi Arabia thing, the whole human rights thing. Yeah, I don't begrudge fighters getting big fat paychecks, but of course, as I've said before on many videos and other people have pointed out, it is getting to the point where a sort of false economy is being built, where this huge bubble full of money is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and fighters are expecting big fat paychecks every time, and eventually that false economy will burst, like it always does, like the housing bubble did, 15 years ago, whatever it was, 14 years ago. So it won't last forever, but can you blame fighters for saying, yeah, I'll have a slice of that? Of course you can't. Most fighters earn very little, although a lot of these fighters on this proposed card have already earned tens of millions of dollars. So perhaps we can't be, it definitely doesn't trickle down, put it that way, to the grassroots of boxing. Anything but that. But anyway, that's my take on this. Let me know your opinion. Do you think, as I do, that it's going to have to be 3 or 4 platforms showing the whole thing? In Britain and probably in America, it'll be pay-per-view. If Wilder's on it, it definitely will. So let me know. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. As always, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you for your time, as always. I look forward to reading your comments, and bye for now.